Now we're live in YouTube. Okay, so welcome everybody. So for the Bookmap Academy meeting, and the goal here is coaching and mentoring. That's part of a huge part of the Bookmap Academy. And through your documentation of your trading activity and identifying elements on the chart, in order flow, will help you become a better trader. So we want to have a really strong community. We want to have really good traders in our group, and this is a vehicle to leverage that and become much better traders and help you guys out along the way. The Academy, if you're not familiar with it, if you're new in here, let me just briefly go over it. Let me bring up the web page here. All right, so this is where you can sign up for it and get information about it. And like I said, so you will be helping yourself by documenting your trading, and then we will be helping you with mentoring. We'll provide a network here of other traders you can bounce ideas around with. We will give you pre-released access to new add-ons and products. And if you become really good in here and make the quotas and thresholds of the content that you're creating, we will bump you up to the Bookmap Academy, and you can get Bookmap for free in here. If you double that quota, you can get something like the MBO bundle for free as well. That's step 2. Step 3 is you can become a coach. Some of the coaches in here will go through some of the trades, and that's what they have now gone through the Academy and turning around and coming back in and helping junior Academy members to make it through the process here. And then ultimately you can become a streamer. So you become a streamer. Someone like Tom B, Doug Pless, and Moby are all from the Bookmap Academy. Oh, hold on a minute here. You guys cannot hear me in Discord. Really? Okay, I should be. No, I'm showing it as. Can you not hear me in Discord? This is odd. If you can hear me in the new, we put a new chat room together for you guys. Yeah, I'm connected. So it's over here. I mean, we're in stage right now presenting, but you can go over to the hashtag Bookmap Academy. We put this whole new section together here for you. This is weird. Okay, I do not know why I'm not working in YouTube, in Discord. All right, hold on a minute here. Yeah. All right, can you hear me now? Is that working? Dan, do I have audio? Do you have audio? Still no. Okay. Hold on a minute.
I can't hear you, unfortunately. It's not showing up with your audio on the stream either.
Okay. Just a minute, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, how about now? Hmm. Okay, I think you found it, Dan. Can you hear me now?
Yep, coming through
Okay.
loud and clear. Cheers, Bruce.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I was just going through the Bookmap Academy, what it is, and for those of you in Discord, you guys already know what it is, and are partaking in it. So we're going to go through some trades in here. Anyway, this is where you can sign up. There's FAQs, etc., and then you'll need to come over to our Discord and request a spreadsheet where you will document your trading activity, and then. Like I said, there's all sorts of things like free market pulse is what we're testing now and want to give you guys access to so that you can play around with it and try to find any sort of edge there using this. So rescreen share to Discord again, please. Okay, so you guys cannot, yes, there we go. Yikes, this did not go smoothly. Okay, how about now? Is that good? Dan, is that good? Should be working fine. All right. Yikes. Right. All good. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's I don't know why I didn't have access to this room. Anyway, we put together a new room in here, and as you can see over in Discord, so that might have been the issue. And just to show you guys, so you can see the new structure in here is here. Under Bookmap Academy, we made its own little section in here, and then you can see we're in the stage room here. We're going to actually open up a voice channel for all of you in here, and then the new text room for Bookmap Academy is here. And then applicants that are new, you guys will come in here and request your spreadsheet in here. This room in here will be for content and feedback and just all about trading within this chat room here. That's the plan moving forward. All right. So anyway, let's jump in and we'll go through some of the feedback, and then I want to go through Crash F16's imagery here first. Now this is from Coach Slowdown. He's the one that gave the feedback here, and we'll go through him to begin with here because he's been doing some really good work in Market Pulse, and that's what the focus was for this meeting here. So we'll start off here and take a look at what he's looking at. So overall, really good information here. It's highlighted, easy to go through and understand, and how one might use Market Pulse in here. So Slowdown suggests note which particular Market Pulse imbalance is featured in the subchart, volume pressure, price change, etc. Might be good. So other than that, though, here we can take a look at it, and we can see the what he's looking at down here. He's looking at some iceberg buy volume, and also the price move up in here off of the buy volume, as you can see. Icebergs in these areas in here. So he's buying the dips on the way up, and look how he's matching this up. This is one of the nicest ways that I've found as well, Crash F16, to use this tool with the volume pressure is you're in an uptrend, buyers are in control, moving this market higher, and then you're looking for these pullback moves. And how much better can you find it when you see extreme volume, but it is still in an uptrend? and you're looking for it to continue on up as well. So beautiful stuff. In fact, you can even, probably fade the edges up in here. That is kind of dangerous as it's counter trend trade, and you don't know how far it might go up. Anyway, some really nice stuff in here, and very, very simple, very straightforward. Yeah, that's what we're just mentioning in here on this note. And then let's see, 2 quick tests of surfer iceberg with high sell volume finally leads to the break. Yeah, okay, so yeah, really, really nice volume studies here in the trend, and really nice use of extreme volume pressure in reading that here in the subchart and mixing that as a really powerful confluence into your charting. Okay, so really, really nice example there. You've been putting a bunch of these examples together, one after another. This is exactly what we wanted to cover, and why? Because this is how you can use this tool. This is how you can find an edge. Okay, that's why we want to give this to you in the Academy, so that you can find an edge and use this new tool before others do. You'll be a bit of a guinea pig. You'll be having to find that edge and study it, and it is in beta. So there might be some crashes or some changes in the future versions. Anyway, another one with here with a volume pressure and balance, and then places to join in the trend. So yeah, again, just very, very simple, very, very clear. You're in an uptrend. You're looking for these extreme moves, and then I mean, it's very nicely showing that here. Just touching it. Now, this is something that I found as well. It just kind of touches these areas in an uptrend, or another way to look at is I look at the mean reversion type of idea in here. I don't know, not really mean reversion, but it's the idea is in here, kind of all of this in here. Well, look at the bottom edge of the yellow rectangle I'm just drawing in here right now. A lot of times you will not get these extreme readings in a trend. So, you can also look for it, but you'll have to do your back testing and your studying. Like if it does do something like this and it doesn't give you that extreme reading right there, but it is below the average in here, and you're in an uptrend, maybe that's something to take a look at as well. Now, just again, this is a confluence, so look at your order flow. Look at high liquidity in here. Look at how it reacts. In this case, there isn't high liquidity in here because we're looking at the NQ, and you see the high liquidity over here. So this is a beauty right here, yeah, and you see high liquidity actually in here, which kind of stops things for a bit, but the buyers overpower it. So some good stuff there. And all right, let's move on. Okay. Yeah, I like this. I like your comments slow down quite a bit. You're keeping it simple in here, Crash F16. So some really nice. You've got lots of different market pulse tools up here. You got your volume pressure and balance. You have your support and resistance, imbalances as well. And playing around with a few different of these are new, the support and resistance ones in here, and looking at those areas in here and looking for an edge. So keeping it really simple, and then you can see the market pulse showing the liquidity pull in some of these areas in here. All right. Yeah, let's open the mic here if there's anything that F16 you wanted to go over and had any comments about on any of these 3 images. See if we can give you the mic.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bruce. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Great, thanks. My first name is Kelly. Just my call sign from the military's crash. That's what I go by in the room.
Okay, so you actually are a F-16 pilot, or were.
Yep, sure was.
Wow, wow, that's excellent. Our CEO was as well. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you've been just like really coming up with one after another in here. Really, I really like it, the simplicity, like slowdown mentions in here, and also just these use case scenarios. Very simple, very clean, very clear. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for letting me join the Academy Junior Applicant Program. I'm excited to be here, and I love this tool. For me, I've got a bunch of standard trade setups that I use, but the biggest tool that has enhanced my trading over the last year is coming on board with Bookmap. And then with the examples that you have shown, and actually, if probably next time you show a couple more, that there'll be a few more examples of it, precise trade entries off of the VPI, the volume pressure imbalance, where I'm combining it using some Fibonacci's and some moving averages. But I find the pinpoint entry actually with the market pulse indicators that you basically showed here. So to me, this is a fantastic tool. It adds an extra dimension of precision on trade entries. I think that there's probably three things that make really good traders. Number one, you got to have the patience to wait for the right time, right? Then two, you got to have really good entries so you maximize your gains. And then three, you got to have risk management. And for me, Bookmap with Market Pulse now adds the precision to the trade entry and helps with legging out. I personally I tend to leg in and leg out of trades, so I don't blow all my lots at one time. I try to get in and get out. And Bookmap with all the indicators that you already shown has really helped me leg in and leg out of trades over and over and over again without much risk. So I don't have a lot to add other than it's a great tool. I love using it. I think I have a lot more to learn, obviously, since it is new, and I'd love keep playing around with it. So
Okay,
that's pretty much all I got. I think from a simplicity, one more thing, just from a simplicity point of view, obviously we can overdo the charts and talk about every single dot, sell volume, sell stop, sell sweep, absorption. So when I put the charts together, I'm usually trying to show one specific point, even though we can add more. So I'm glad you like it with the simplicity, because sometimes I feel like somebody might, say, hey, well, you didn't talk about this. Well, that's not necessarily the point of every slide. Each slide is to depict something special that I'm using within the Bookmap tools. So that's kind of the intention of how I'm charting.
okay, yeah, that's. I mean, I think that's a good self-criticism there. That but the simplicity of what you're doing here is studying and integrating this new tool, and this is very, very clean and clear, in my opinion. This is the way to do it. Marking up with charts like well, if you look at I mean, like this one's probably one of the better ones because you're looking very precisely here at volume, and you're looking at your reading here in the market pulse. So this is it's the volume you're looking at maybe first, or maybe you're looking at liquidity or context in here, and then you look at the market pulse tool as this added and precision kind of confluence to add to your charts. So it's a good self-criticism. I just think that you already you're studying this particular tool and getting into the details. I would be curious to know about like how you got the volume pressure one down really nicely. More about this one here, about the integration of the maybe support and resistance, and keep going, and we'll keep covering it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. We'll move on to CMJ here, and we have also DNT Matter, and then I'll hand it over to Jack and let him take it away. Let's see here. I'm sorry, let me first get to Slowdown's reading here. Again, simple and clear. Like Slowdown continues to stress this. In the presentation last time, he showed his evolution as a trader, which I thought was just fantastic. It showed that he was marking up the charts with many different things and identifying the elements. That was step one. Step two, he started to look at very specific things or more specific things that gave him the insight that he was looking for, that resonated with him. But he's still marking up the charts kind of in general. There's just less markups because he knows what he's looking for. And that developed and parlayed into his strategy. And I have some images that we'll go over maybe after Jack on Slowdown. So it won't take long, but I do want to give the feedback there on Slowdown, and also for Rob. Rob's been working really hard, so I want to go over his evolution as well. So let's take a look at this anyway. The example of market pulse pressure imbalance in the subchart as well. So let's jump in. So you're talking about stop run, volume pressure imbalance, exhaustion at the VWAP, and let's see, buyers lift through the volume pressure imbalance to the upside, but sellers can't push through volume pressure. I'm sorry, the VP imbalance to the downside, so potential clue. All right, so here's your move back up, your VPOC migration higher here. You're in Tom's room, going through Tom's process and documenting up your charts. Again, I do like the simplicity in here. There looks like, there's a lot on the chart here, but you only have a few notes, and that is key, right? So anyway, move back up into here, and I would say that well, and then you see the move back down here, and then exhaustion. That's nice. That's really nice to see. Is these little details in here, the lack of selling at the bottom of the range, and with other, volume pressure, or I'm sorry, volume profile areas that you're going to find an edge in the order flow. And you can see it's just kind of shy of your high volume node in here, and then a move back up, as you can see, and beautiful entry, really nice on that. You see the exhaustion, bottom of the range, you get in, and I can't see quite if there's a big green dot in there. Yeah, there is. This is it, so looking for taking it back up to at least in here for a quick trade. You grabbed it, and you still have another one on up here, so you can move your stop up, reduce the risk, and maybe even look for another pullback and entry, etc. So nice example right there. I'm sorry, let me go over the volume pressure imbalance here, the delta. So you can see it in here as well, which is really great. This is kind of interesting here. I've been seeing this as well. You're getting an extreme reading here, but you're kind of in the middle of the range. So you're not taking your profit there. You're waiting. You're looking for your very specific area. One way to potentially consider this then is if you're getting your extreme reading in here, maybe because I've been playing around with it, and then I get stopped out. So maybe you can move your stop up at that point and consider how you want to manage it, right? Because a lot of times you get this extreme reading over a little structural area in here, and then it moves back down for one more swipe lower here before it comes back up. But I don't know, just a suggestion in there. Let's see here. Yeah, good example of trade management is what Slowdown is saying, and the scaling, etc. Everyone manages a little bit differently, and hindsight is just that. Yeah, good job. Suggestion, Slowdown says the ad seems a bit like a chase as we approach the high volume And previous structure, we'll pull back again. You still have room to get your scale in before. Okay, so I guess this is example 2 in here. Yeah. So you got your VP or your VPOC migration here. Okay. There's your exhaustion. Beautiful. You've got the exhaustion down. This seems like your thing. You know, so that's fantastic. This is where you can get the edge using order flow, understanding that you've got a retest back up here and there's no interest, right? And you know that, we're starting to trend down. You see that migration of your VPOC. Yeah. So is this an entry in here? No. Let's see. On a minute here. I know Slowdown has put it together here for you. Yeah, here we go. Down here. Yeah, I like your entries as well. You know, you could probably even get a little bit better in here. It's hard to say. You don't really see a lot of sell volume bringing that down at this point here. It does look like it's in here. Yeah, I think the entry is good. There is some risk there of putting that on, but let's see. You add in here, or took some off and added in here. Yeah, I kind of agree with maybe a bit of chasing in here, or maybe a bit of adding risk in here on the add. It worked out pretty well. You only had a slight pullback in here before it comes back down again. Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, we've got this kind of little swing in here, and we do get the bounce out of that little area in there. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful stuff though with your targets. I would agree, and exit on overnight low as predetermined target. Yeah, really great feedback, great image. DNT matter, we'll go through this and context interpretation example. Okay, overall, identifying a potential shift in the market in context, annotations are clean and understandable. Additional notes at the bottom here. So let's take a look at this, and we'll look at suggestions. Okay, I like, again, clean and clear. This is how, you know, as Slowdown has gone through this process, he mentions as well, like, you're looking for focusing and getting really like clarity from what you're doing with your markups. What are you looking for? The cleaner and the clearer it can get, the more you will understand your own setup that you're getting, you're building. Okay, let's see here. Okay, front running liquidity. You get a bit of a pullback here, but it does not fall. Okay, again, you're looking at the volume profile, the shift up here of the high volume node. And then you're asking a question up here. Hard one in here, I think, on a read on the order flow in here. There's just more buying pressure. There's really not a whole lot underneath here. A little bit of a spoof maybe, or a little bit under here, but a wall of liquidity. Yet the buyers were able to charge through it. So that is kind of funny. I remember this day. I think it was a pretty strong move up with a lot of momentum behind it, which was just able to chew through this high liquidity until it was just about up in here. And I think we got one more double top and then it failed, something like that. Yeah, nice. You've identified this before, DNT. The possible trap volume in here, really nice with the delta volume column. Yeah. and then you're looking at your higher time frames in the columns, etc. All right, good stuff in here. Anyway, some really great notes. I don't want to go through them all in here. Slowdown has provided them for you, and I'd really recommend that you read them through in detail here. Let's see, he does say suggestion here of the delta volume at the bottom can also give additional help to looking who's in control. Yeah. Okay. So just some other confluences in here in some of the delta volume bars to consider. Okay. All right. Jack, let's let you take it over here. Share your screen, and I will rebroadcast it over in here in Discord.
It is not going to let me share my screen.
Hmm.
It's going to be a permission thing.
Okay.
The button's literally read it out.
Okay. Let's see here. Dan, are you able to take a look at that? I believe I can add you in here. Trying now. Okay. Boy, we set this up before and we didn't have any problems. So I don't know. I'm sorry we're having problems at the moment.
Since you're rebroadcasting, I can pop up into another channel and stream. No, you won't be able to share it that way. No.
No, we can give it to you here.
Just read it out. It won't let me share.
Still?
Yeah, it just says unable to share.
Just try pressing Control R and quickly reload Discord. Should
All right.
work then.
Nope, still share my screen is red.
Okay. Hold on a minute here.
I love the new stage setup. Just takes a little bit of hiccups. That's all.
Yeah, no, we like it too. It is it was set up last time, no problem.
It's just one of those.
What is your Discord name? Is something like the Real Jack or something like this?
Def not Jack.
Oh, Def Not Jack, right?
It's very creative.
Okay.
While we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and link the first trade I'm going to be sharing. It's with Sombra123.
Okay.
I'll link the picture in the chat here, as well as a link to the post itself if people want to take a look at that when we're going, so they can make it bigger on their screen if they choose to. It's a little extra stuff.
All right. Maybe we can give him a roll, Dan. How about that?
Just do a temporary roll and then remove it later.
Yeah, or no, we can just give you here. You want to try Control R one more time here?
Yeah, give me a second. It's going to kick me again. So give me 1 second.
Sure.
Nope, still see unable to share screen.
Okay.
You have my slides. It's in the slide that we linked. We could just do it that way and then mess with this later if you want.
Okay.
Because I have everything numbered and everything you saw. So
Yeah.
let's just go that way and then you and I can fix this later. Power through.
All right. No, I mean, it's such a simple thing to do here. You just need to give you the right permission here. Okay, I know how I'm going to do it. Okay, try it now. Control R again.
Give me 1 second. Nope.
Okay. All right. So let's see here.
It's the last link in our DMs
Okay.
where I asked for the slide. And it's just 3 simple slides.
Okay. This one here, Sombra.
That's the first one. It's zoomed in really far
Yeah.
on my screen.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. This one?
That's it.
Okay, great. All right. Take it
So
away.
for those that don't know, I'm Jack. I'm one of the Bookmap coaches here. I try to help out wherever I can. I've been away for some IRL stuff, but things are going pretty good right now. So I'm back and kind of getting back into things. The 3 traders that I looked at today, the first one was Sombra. One of the great things about Sombra's content here is, and we'll see this again, he starts with his context. He starts with what he's thinking from the get-go, and he labels that right at the bottom of the chart here, and you can see that in the number 1 there. And his context is, the market gapped up, and he's looking for kind of continuation on that, especially with news coming up. He wants to see continuation from that news in the direction of the gap up higher. And from there, he also notates that he's looking for a VPOC acceptance and migration. And you see that in the orange line there, where volume point of control moves up. This gives him another bullish indication, adding more confluence to his trade, which I find really great. And then one of the things I want to highlight here is he doesn't just enter right here. He waits for the market. He's patient. He lets the market come to him. He lets it take out some stops at 3. He's looking for a test of VWAP or a swing low, and that's exactly what he gets right there. You can see in the structure right there at 3, you get the push down, that nice strong impulse through the resting liquidity, a push up, then a swing low, again, a higher low, and that gives him the confluence for that entry there. And that's where he starts to scale in, and that's his long mean reversion. Now, people often look at mean reversion, but it's important to understand, and Bruce mentioned this earlier, sometimes that can be counter trend. In this particular case, it's not counter trend. He's mean reverting to VPOC in his trend direction. This is a great confluence setup, and you can really see it here. And one of the reasons why I want to highlight that is counter trend trading is dangerous. And when you try to mean revert on a short and the market's trending higher, you don't know how far it's going to short before you might get VPOC migration or VWAP migration, just kind of moving further up and end up stopping you out. This is a great setup utilizing those concepts and acknowledging those things and still trading in the trend direction. And we can see that he gets his confluence to his target, his initial target. And you'll notice that that target is where the previous swing low before the impulse at 2 was. And it kind of forms that little balance there. And you can see where he scaled out his purple arrow right there. It kind of has a little support level right there. And then you get essentially a double top before you get some continuation and consolidation there, right around 5. So those are really, really great concepts there. And then what I want to highlight here is he looked at the management of his runner at 6, which it's always great to manage runners. Sometimes you can manage them aggressively, a little bit more conservatively. In this particular case, I think that the management was a little too aggressive. He ends up getting trailing stopped essentially. He moves his take profit, of course, but it's essentially acting like a trailing stop at 6. And you'll see that if you look at 6 on the right-hand side of the screen, but you also look at the left, you can see that that area had volume trading. You're in a volume area. And you can also see that in his session volume profile or his cumulative volume profile. You can't tell which one it is in this case. In that far right there, you can see he's at the apex of a volume node. So there's a lot of volume there. So he ends up getting stopped out at the apex of a volume node when it might have continued trading through there. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is a great runner. I think that's like a 10-point trade just glancing at it. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking for more of those kind of trend continuation days, look at those volume nodes and really manage them appropriately and try to watch. He could have put his stop a little closer to VPOC or a little closer to where maybe his initial take profit was. That way he would have just, doubled up his profit. Or he could have maybe put it at VWAP or something like that. So those are some considerations there to just kind of keep in mind. He does a great job though. And you'll see this in another one of the users that I'm going to highlight here, utilizing cloud notes, utilizing custom notes, keeping track of his higher time frames, transposing them here, showing his volume notes so he can see literally everything that he needs to see as he needs to see it. So these are really great setups. I really liked this. This is one of the best ones he had. And that's really all I had for Sombra. If we want to go to General IRO next, I believe.
Yep. Hold on a minute.
Of course. And I'll link General IRO, his image right here in the chat as well. And you guys can take a look at that one as well. So if you want to see that a little bigger.
Okay.
There he is.
There. How about that?
Yep. So General IRO is fantastic. And one of the things that I like about General IRO is he's doing something a little different than everybody else for the most part. He's utilizing Bookmap and equities. And I love Bookmap and equities. It is one of the most enjoyable forms of trading for me, especially when you add some of the different strategies that you can do, like VWAP standard deviations and things like that. He has a really great series of images, and this was just one of them. I could have picked literally any one of them because they're very similar. He's got his higher time frame consideration at number 1 there. He's got a daily level. He's got a key level that he's looking for, and he's looking for a trade confluence based on this level. And from there, in this particular case, he's looking short. He notices that you get a lot of buy volume initially, and then it just kind of dies out. You get a little bit of exhaustion and you get this longer term liquidity that your buy volume went through, but then there's nothing. And he sees that there's passive liquidity in number 3, kind of putting that overhead pressure on things, kind of pushing things down or forcing an absorption to occur, meaning that price would have to push through that level if it's going to do so. He also recognizes at 6 at the same time that they're pulling liquidity at that area. So now that lower level of support below price has been moved and price is pushing from the top end, staggering its way down. This is a very good kind of order flow volume confluence that you can look for in the order book that will indicate a good short. And he does a couple of other things here. In number 4, he notices that there's overall low volume. And you can see that if you look at 4 and then look right around, I want to say probably 946, 947 of time frame, just above 6, you can see that price action is moving pretty far. It's about 20 cents, which is pretty substantial in a $22 stock. But it's moving that 20 cents, and there's a lot of bid-ask spread in there. And a lot of bid-ask spread there is going to cause several kind of spiky moves. And that's what you kind of get here in this, and that's what that low volume is giving. And then he can see that exhaustion at 5 and his push lower. And so he notates his entry right there at 2240, notating with the exhaustion, and his target is that VWAP area that initial 2170 area where that lower liquidity is in the order book as a whole. I think that this is great overall. One of the best things about this is one of his better stop positions as well. He places that stop above the swing highs. So his confluence is we're going to push lower because we didn't push higher. So I'm looking short. So he looks short. What invalidates his strategy at this point? Well, if we push higher, because he thought that we're not going to push higher. So it's really great to see how he's annotating his stops, and it's above a swing high. You know that you have that overhead liquidity kind of pushing things down. This is a really great setup. One of the things that he didn't mention is right around that 950 timeframe on the chart there is a ton of buy-side exhaustion. This further supports that push down. So you got that initial impulse down, but then you've got this imbalance push back up, and then a ton of exhaustion. This signals, hey, there is no appetite for buying right here. We're going to push lower, probably to that liquidity that's just kind of resting in that order book right there, and then maybe have a runner go a little further, just depends. But that order flow right there really does not signal buy at all. That signals get out if you are a buyer. You do not want to be in that trade. And he's in the right side of the trade, shorting the market right there. This is a great setup. I really loved this. And he has several others as well. What's also great is he also has his candlestick chart. He's very similar to me. He, utilizes multiple charts. Nothing wrong with that. I love to see, kind of picking and choosing. Bruce, you'll see him in his streams. He'll also have his higher time frame, his candlestick charts off on the side and pull them up when he needs to kind of like give more confluence and stuff. Our eyes are going to be everywhere, and it's about understanding the little things one by one by one, and then putting them all together and building a book out of it, essentially. So this was a great setup. I really liked it. But that's pretty much it for Iro. I think he's going to be able to talk. Correct, Bruce?
I don't think so.
I don't see. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's got a mic available.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he waved his hand.
Okay, great. Let's bring him on.
So Ira, if you just press the speak on stage button down at the bottom, that should bring you onto the stage.
He might have stepped away too, so that's okay if need be. He might have stepped away. We can move on if you want to, and then if he comes back, we can always come back.
He's trying here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't see anything on my end, so.
Yeah, no, he's in there. He's got his hand up. We're in the here. I'll show you here. So, is this button here, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it says speak on stage.
Mine's leave stage because I'm on the stage. So just click on speak on stage. That ought to do it. Okay, there might be some issues in here again. Sorry about that.
Right.
Yeah, that's really a pity. That's exactly why we moved to this venue here, was so you guys can speak.
So we could alleviate some of this.
Yeah, exactly. And we did tests earlier with a lot of guys. So let me see if I can quickly get you in here.
This is really great. He also traded Moderna one day. He keeps an eye on Affirm, Uber, and a couple other really good stocks. And these are fantastic. And what it really highlights is, you don't need to trade the indices. You don't need to trade the futures. You can trade currencies. You can trade futures currencies, essentially, or you can trade equities. And you can really see kind of all of these passive liquidity, and you can see these different areas. Actually, one of the things that I did want to mention.
Oh, I'm sorry, General Ira, if you can hit Control R on your keyboard, and you should be able to come back in and click enter the stage. I'm sorry, Jack. What were you saying?
One of the other things I wanted to mention in equities, and I didn't really do this at the time. Equities have a tendency to really like the $quarter dollar levels or the psychological levels, those dollar increments.
Yeah.
And you can see that the liquidity really sits at those points. And you can see kind of some of those areas like the 50-cent mark, the $1 mark, and a lot of times there'll be targets, and you'll hit those targets, and front running those can be really, really good.
Yeah, totally. I like not only your image, the image here, but your mentoring here, Jack. I totally agree. Like from the get-go about equities and understanding the order flow in here. In equities is I think it can be very, very clear sometimes. This one here, like you went through it, and it makes really good sense that you have the absorption here. There's still more buying pressure. Now it's totally absorbed up here. You're getting some exhaustion. You're getting that spread widened out, as you had mentioned. You see the order book starting to come down a bit in here. Here you have that absorption or exhaustion in here, and then the sellers come in, and they pull here too.
Yeah, they pulled too.
This, I mean, and that is the setup. So you are looking for a test down to here. It scares me though, like this amount of volume and momentum. This is a strong move, but I mean, this is why you can lean on. Look at these, especially in stocks. I think it might be better. You can lean on some of the order flow in here, and this is something to study, to take away and look for this, turning this into your setup. Because what ends up happening is this volume up in here, as you can see, they pull away really quickly, right? Well, that's going to be, everyone's going to be stopped out down in here, right? So if you can, although this looks scary in here, you have your reasons for this activity to unfold in here. And then, and again, like you had mentioned in here, on the pullback, here's your impulse move here as well. And then on the pullback, you got your exhaustion in here. So you would be looking for it to trade back down into this 2180 level.
Also, he's using the higher time frame level too. So that level where price ends up essentially dying, he's looking at it to do something like that as a whole. If we were to expect kind of an up move, I would like to see it, push through that level, then come back and kind of, test it and then get some more support and go further. But in this case, it like ran right into it and was like, okay, I'm done. And then you just see that bid ask widen just so much. I mean, that's a 20-25 cent spread at some points. Like liquidity just evaporated and price just spiked 10-15 cents at a time there for, probably a good minute or so. And then, like you said, you just get that absolute dump. Once that resting liquidity supporting at 6 left, there was nothing stopping it, and it just fell out quickly. Yeah. And it falls right into that session volume node right there.
Yeah.
So that's
it's a beauty. Some nice stuff in here.
I probably could not find a better equity short to demonstrate like the different techniques and stuff. This is a fantastic example, honestly. So.
Excellent.
I was really happy with it.
We got one more Rubicon Trader here. Copy the image and put it in.
Let me post that real quick here. Okay. So Rubicon Trader, he's been sharing a lot of images over the course of quite a while now. He's been sharing images in the Blue Jacket competition and in several other areas as well. I believe he shares in the Futures channel as well here. So he's definitely no stranger to sharing his images, and he does a great job here. Some of that writing can be a little small, so I just kind of copy paste. Oh, he's there. I see him. Can you hear us, General Iro?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, friend. Can we go back a slide, Bruce?
This is it, no? Oh,
that's Rubicon. This is General Iro.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
What'd you think about this setup, General Iro?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. Did you like the feedback? Did you like the the supportive constructive criticism there, like how you did everything exactly the way I would have done it, essentially.
I like the feedback, but you can be a little bit critical.
Yeah, just kind of.
You
I've been
sound
doing
like,
this so long.
like the perfect setup, and I mean,
This
I
is the
do
perfect
like the
setup.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the setup.
Yeah, this is
That's
great.
good. Yeah.
You have several other trades that are very similar to this. Is this kind of your go-to is looking at equities like this?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because well, I've been using Bookmap for now, just 2 weeks now. Not
Oh,
that
really?
long, but yeah.
Nailed it. I was not doing this well at 2 weeks, man. And I
Yeah,
came
I
from
mean,
Footprint, so
when I found out about Bookmap, I'm like, I loved it, and then like the last 2 weeks, I just going through everything, going through the courses, went through lots of them.
this is great.
Yeah, I liked it, and yeah, before that, yeah, I was mostly using just the high time frame level. That's it. And now, like, just because now with the addition of the other stuff like the liquidation and the volume and stuff, like everything about Bookmap, it's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's like a nice addition and nice confirmation to the trade.
Yeah, and you nailed every major concept that you can really nail in a setup here, with the exhaustion, looking at the volume, the higher time frame inclusions. And maybe it helped you, honestly, coming from looking at higher time frames as a whole. But this is great, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you sharing it.
Are you asking us to
Okay.
be more critical?
Yeah, I mean, I've been using it for 2 weeks. So am I like a professional in 2 weeks?
Well, you're
Already?
I mean, these are, I mean, really, it's like I was kind of mentioning earlier, in your evolution, you're already getting pretty focused here. So you're looking at some things, you're kind of like already very correctly identifying these elements, and then putting it into your setup with stops and entries and targets as well. So
Literally, my only criticism is I would look at those $0.25 increments. That's the only criticism that I have looking at this. And I don't mind being critical at all. And a lot of the guys probably are like, oh yeah, Jack is definitely critical. But this is just a really good setup. I did cherry pick. This was your best one overall, but the others are really, really solid as well.
Okay.
The $0.25 increments. So you have your stop there at 22.73. Honestly, I'd put it at 22.76, 22.77. You have your target there at 21.70. I'd put it at 21.76. I'd fade it by a couple of ticks. That way, because those $0.25 increments, you're going to get a lot of volume. If you look at this, you'll see it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're just kind of front running and back running. You're using them as kind of like protective absorption layers, so that like price has to run into those and then break through it in order to stop you out. But when you're doing that, when you're moving your stop further away, obviously you're adding more risk. It's only a couple of cents in this case, but be aware that is a consideration that you need to take into control. But yeah, this is great. There's really just not that much criticism on this, to be perfectly honest.
the only thing I can think of here that you didn't identify is absorption, which would be here around this.
Big green dots.
Yeah.
Well, the first one too.
The first one it's not, I mean, it does pull back, but and they're still here. They come back in with more selling here, but they trade right through it. This up here though is totally absorbed.
Yeah, it's absorbed, and then there's not enough pushing it back.
Yeah, they try one more time here, but this is the death nail. Once we get the sellers down in here, they're done. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the only thing I can really think of. So yeah, good.
There's not a lot. This is really good. So
Yeah, good
I appreciate
stuff.
it. I really do.
So what? Yeah.
Go ahead, ask.
Yeah, I still have to figure things out. So like the absorption, you mean like the liquidity is getting absorbed?
No. Well, the liquidity is the passive orders here on the offer, and the aggressors can't chew through it. They are absorbing the buying pressure.
Yeah, the aggressors are being absorbed essentially. So like it's not going to break that level. So in the terms of like more supply and resistance, you would get hard resistance at that point, right? Or in this case, it would be overhead supply, to use the proper term. So you get that overhead supply, and that overhead supply is too much for buyers to break through. Too many people want to sell, which just absorbs all of the aggression. Once there's no buy side aggression, which you can see, the bid ask widens at that point, you get that pullback. So, and I can show you examples of those. And one of the great things about the program in general, on your spreadsheet, on yours, you have comments on each one of your trades that you have there, and then that you've shared. And then if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to any one of us, really. But I'm the one who notated your stuff specifically. And you'll see in your spreadsheet that I put my name up there, so you know it was me that did it.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
yeah, when you go to look at your spreadsheet,
when you
all
go,
that contents will be there.
Yeah, exactly. When you go to your spreadsheet, you'll see the coach, and we're going to rotate coaches too, so you guys get different feedback from different people.
Yeah, I think the first time I had CMJ.
Yeah, and we rotated them over.
Yep.
So and we'll do that. Like last week or last time we had Stan as a coach. And he'll come back in next time. So
it just gives you different points of view. It gives you different aspects. However, you can ask any one of us any questions that you have, and we will do our best to answer or get the answer for you. So you don't have to rely on whoever you're currently talking to. You can reach out to any one of us, or you can reach out into the Discord channel. That's why we have that there.
Yeah, exactly. So this whole and I just want to mention this again because we just set this up today. For Bookmap Academy, this little section in here, we have the announcements. We have if you're new to it, you come into the Academy applicant section and you request your spreadsheet or ask questions in here. But we put this one together because, sorry about that, guys. We should have done it earlier. This is where to put your content and have discussions about other things. So you don't have to. I saw some comments in the Academy applicants area like, don't put your content in here. Where do you put it? So here we put a new room in here. So this is, and I see you guys are already using it. So that's fantastic. Yeah, that's the new area here. And then, like I said, we'll open this voice channel so you guys can chat to each other if you like as well. Anyway, let's see. Anything else, General Iro, or should we move on to the next image?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, excellent.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
I have a lot of more questions, but
by all means, you can always ask me.
We'll get to those like later on.
By all means, just reach out and ask me. Yeah, I don't mind. You can ask him in the channel, or you can DM me. Either or, whatever you're more comfortable with. That's what we're here for. Literally, what we're here for.
Sure. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, and let's get to your last one here. Oh, Rubicon Trader. I've already got the slide here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Rubicon Trader, the text is a little hard to read, so obviously I linked it in the chat there, but I also put his trade thesis up above. And what he's looking at here is he's checking a low volume node, which is above the volume point of control, and he's looking for a test and a rejection of VPOC, shorting the market essentially. And he's looking at a microstructure. So you can see his low volume node interaction there at the 1A there that Bruce just highlighted. And then you can see 2 over there. You can see the break of the microstructure. It's hard to see it in this kind of blown out image, but he was notating it while he was zooming in and out. And you'll see us zoom in and out. That's one of the advantages of Bookmap, is you can kind of get into the micro minutia there, which he notates at 2, and then he sees the stops that are triggering in, breaking his key level there. And so he's not worried that volume is buying volume. He's notating that it's stopping volume. So he's kind of expecting, once the stops are triggered and everybody's kind of done, there's no more buy side aggression, and he's going to get some sort of sell side rejection, or buy side rejection, sell side continuation. And That's what you end up seeing there at 3. You get that kind of consolidating pattern. Once you break a level, you expect some consolidation. He gets that at 3A. And then he gets the incoming liquidity. He's notating that at 4 with the arrows there. And you see that he's notating the incoming liquidity, which is kind of similar to general IROs. You get that passive liquidity putting downward pressure. And if you've got that downward pressure and you don't have any supportive pressure, you're looking for an impulse move, or you're looking for kind of a new trend direction. Now, what's great with this one also is he didn't just enter the trade. He's patient. He waited for a pullback to his level. And you can see that at 5 for his short entry. He didn't just take it as it broke the level. He waited for it to come back to him. This is so important. If you try to just jump into a trade while it's in an impulse move, your risk reward is going to be very, very different scale-wise. If you wait for a pullback, you know where you had buying or selling pressure, you can get a more precise entry, which is similar to what Crash was mentioning earlier. And using Bookmap to get that more precise entry, you can have a tighter stop. You can have a better risk reward. And really, that's what it all comes down to, is getting more reward for what we risk in general. And this is a great way to do that. And we can see it at 5A. He scales out of his profit. Now, what's great about this scaling out is you can see in his chart volume profile, as well as his session volume profile, he's scaling out at the apex of a volume node. He moved from a low volume node, and he expected to get to a high volume node. He expected it to kind of transition there, and he's leaving a runner to see if it continues. This is great. Take risk, or take reward when you can. Leave some risk on the table, but minimize your risk. You reduce your risk. Now you've reduced some of that mental pressure that you're going to have when trading, which everybody's going to run into. And you can get kind of more of those more impulse moves. And you can see, like I mentioned in 6, his key level there, but you can also see at 7, he's looking for his final target down there at the bottom for his higher time frame, his higher volume node considerations. And so he gets that larger down move once that liquidity kind of just breaks on the down move, on that strong impulse, and he scales out slightly in front of it. And that's fantastic. I love to see those kinds of things. And you really see it very well here. And I think that it's really important that all 3 of these individuals are looking at not just intraday timeframes, they're looking at higher timeframes, they're looking at where the structures are in general, and looking for confluence for their trades off of these topics, and then using order flow for some of that confluence as well. And these are incredibly important concepts. And it's great if you're using, trading off of levels and things like that. But at the end of the day, one of Bookmap's greatest strengths is utilizing the order flow, recognizing what's happening in the order book, and using the volume that comes in or out of the market to influence your trade and to influence your bias and to make a good trade. So it's important that you're using those concepts. Otherwise, you're going to be missing so much of what you could be doing. So that's really all I had for Rubicon Trader. He did a great job here. This is a really good setup as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, Rubicon Trader, you could see his screen is like 50-50. He's got a lot of information there for his different volume profiles, different cloud notes. And you can see between the 3 different users that we've covered, they all utilize that side of the screen slightly differently. So you can get kind of a little bit of each one of their takes on how they utilize these tools. And you can use whichever one kind of works best for you. I'm more of a general IRO style. I don't really utilize the volume profiles nearly as much. And I kind of mentally have my higher time frame levels, and I also have them on a more traditional chart like Bruce does. But my internal intraday key levels, I do mark like Rubicon Trader. So it's kind of a hybrid approach. Everybody does things a little differently, but it's good that you can see different approaches here with those concepts. So that's the last thing I had for those 3. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, no, thanks. Great feedback. And there was something that just kind of, caught my ear that you said in the end is about using this tool. And one of the reasons why we're offering this like coaching and mentoring is so that you can learn from some of these ideas in here, because we see a lot of content where, like, people are just saying, oh well, it's, the auction's too high up in an area or too low in an area. That's not very helpful for you. What do you mean? Like, in hindsight, of course it's too high or too low. But when you start to look at some of these order flow behavior in this context here that you get between the limit, sell, and buy orders and the transactions in the structure, you can start to look at it and understand that the players are telling you it's too high. Because there is exhaustion, or there's total absorption and a retest, and no one's there to buy higher. So that's where you can look for it being, okay, it's too high. I'm looking for a mean reversion, or I'm looking for back in the range or the other side of the range, whatever, or trend continuation, whatever it is. But that's where, like, this really kind of opens up and kind of blossoms for you to understand some of that behavior, because it is in here in the order flow. So that was a really nice comment, Jack.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think that these are the most important concepts when you're utilizing order flow and volume, is like utilize the things that you can and step by step work through these processes as you go.
Yeah. I wanted to jump into a few here and go over some things that slow down. Actually, I mean, he's a coach, but he provided some images in here, and I want to go through them as well. So some good stuff. It won't take long, and we'll just kind of quickly go through it in here. But he's using, again, market pulse in here. Now he's got a couple of different lines in here in the subchart, as you guys can see. A couple of different imbalances, it looks like. Yeah, he's got his delta in here, and well, yeah. What I really liked about this in here is the large volume. Okay, now, because it's so simple and it's so clean and clear. Look at these large spikes in volume in your volume delta bars here, and then you can start to look at also look at the readings here in the market pulse tool, right? So large delta plus minor market pulse, a dip here, not enough selling pressure to stop the trend. And you can look for these areas in here. Maybe just wait for some buying to come back in and turn around, and look for that trend continuation. I mean, the market is telling you something here, right? In these areas here is not enough selling to drop it. It doesn't even drop below the swing here, and that's pretty significant on such a large volume bar. Clearly, this is going to be a if we zoom in, and you either see high liquidity in here, or you're going to see a major iceberg order in here. Again, here, change in delta plus change in market pulse. All right, so look at the massive volume coming in here, and then you have the market pulse in here, but it's not going down. Follow the large sell delta equals possible change or stall in the uptrend in here, right? So you do get this kind of move back up, but he's starting to understand a trend shift, right? Using market pulse, which is really nice here. So instead of these little key areas for that trend continuation, like he's looking for the trend shift in here. That large volume, be cautious now about this uptrend. You're getting these extreme readings down here several times. Right, so some really nice. You also show it here, the sustained green on the upside, right? So this is something that I was noticing as well, about, like, you get these sustained readings in an uptrend. Well, how do you get into the uptrend on the down moves? Well, you can look for it in market pulse, like he is in here. But sometimes you just, maybe you won't get those market pulse moves. I mean, you can see in here you don't get it, right? So splicing into it might be kind of a challenge. But in this example here, he's got some really nice ones. This is beautiful. Look at these little areas in here. There's no liquidity around, a high liquidity up in here, and just trends right up into it. And then notices the shift in here. Another one in here. This is at the opening here, 30 minutes after. Sellers in control. Here's your open. Sellers in control. You can see the volume dots, volume bars, and then the buying comes in here, and buying above the structure. This is your kind of your spring idea, or just trap volume in here, or maybe a stop run, or both. But look at the clean shift though. Okay, selling, buying. Right, so the buyers are starting to take control here. Now, maybe this is as far as it went, and the sellers come back in, but here you see that buying coming in again. Right, so you're looking for this continuation, or he is top of the range, high liquidity, back up into these areas in here, and then battle for control up in here, the back and forth, and that's very typical after the right. So another one in here. This one, I'm sorry, was it this one or this one here? Oh, I just wanted to mention something about this one in here. He's got his market pulse extremes in here again, kind of similar to what we had just covered. His spring checklist. This is something he put together, as you can see. And I don't know if this is something he has like on his desktop or whatever, but like what I want to show in here is that we put this together as well. And if we can share this with you guys, it's called Bookmap Checklist right now. We're going to call it Setup Checklist. But you can it's an add-on in here, and you can put whatever it is. You have a CSV file in here, and you can add whatever you want in here. So I put in another one. There's flag pattern default, and there's another one, flag pattern, in here, and you can make your own and import it, and then you can start checking your things off. And then this is, I've been using it. This keeps me out of trouble. So play around with this tool. It's such a simple thing. But it's a good reminder. Instead of having post-it notes all over your monitor, you can use something like this. So like for a flag pattern, identifying trap traders and developing scenarios. Do I see trap traders? If I do, I can check it. I can score it 1 through 10. How good is it? And then develop the scenarios. If they are trapped, then where might they go? Anyway, you guys get the idea in here. I really like this tool. It was so simple for the developers to put together. And just if you guys are interested, just let us know, and we'll give you access to it. All right. Let's see. I just wanted to cover that part, and I got another one here. Yeah, and this won't take long in here. Slowdown's been, he's put together these very clean and clear images about his specific setup. It's this one here, this Wyckoff spring. He knows exactly what he's looking for, and how to mark up his charts. And he has this kind of reminder in here, which is fantastic. This is what he's looking for. Do I see it here? Where might it go in terms of targets? What I wanted to cover was it was just something I noted after the webinar, that he wrote in here, Fed tomorrow, possible two-sided trade. And then, he says the extended trading hours, high volume node here. And it was just a little red flag that kind of popped up. And I mentioned it to him. I DM'd him. the idea here is that he's studying something very specific and he's getting really good at it. And now I see other things being added into the chart, other analysis. And that can really take you down the wrong path sometimes. It depends on how you handle it. But you might have something really clean and really clear, and now you're making it unclear and complex for yourself. So I think I talked to another trader about this and the way that he handles it some months ago. And the way he handles it is he treats each of his setups kind of like an experiment and its own separate little petri dish. So the Wyckoff spring that he is studying, continue on with that study in its own separate study. Maybe even consider another spreadsheet for another spring study, but with different confluences. This way, you know what's working, you know what's not, and you don't get confused. So be careful adding more things onto your chart. And I just saw this. I don't know if he is or not. It was just a bit of a warning, and I thought, well, I think we should mention it. So that was all. And then just last one here, guys. Rob has been focusing his trading in here. And I kind of suggested to him, I said, well, look, stick with something really simple and get really good at it. Something you know what's happening there. And these impulse moves, I think is, I suggested, but we've been covering the flag pattern or a continuation pattern. And I suggested just get really good at these momentum moves. It's such an easy thing to see and can offer such good edge if you can get really good at them. So he started doing that. As you can see, impulse move, impulse move, impulse move. Very simple things in here now. This is really getting much better, Rob. Here's high liquidity. Look at it trade right into it. And starting to understand what's going on in some of these areas in here. You got your VPOC as well. Now you're adding in a bit more to understand what's going on in here, right? So this is fantastic. I would say, like, even try to keep it even, and they're bringing liquidity down. Try to keep it even simpler. So for example, the impulse move and reading these impulse moves, very similar to what we were just talking about in here with the checklist. Okay, so for example, bring up this one again, right? Here's your impulse move. First is identifying the trap traders and the consolidation. Second is reading the impulse move. How steep is the move? That means that it's moving quickly. Is it a large movement as well? How is the volume in that? Okay, so you actually have 3 different checklists in here, really. And start to get really good at understanding that. Where is that volume trading? Is it consistent all the way through a move, right? Or does it peter out at an area? Does it trade into high liquidity? What is the reaction up into a high liquidity area? Really breaking down the components within the impulse move. Because once you can start to do that, you can start to look at this pullback. Look where it came to here. You'll start to notice these things. You can also, you're looking for a strong move, you're looking for a strong move again in a continuation, right? So now you can start to look at and understand, like, well, it kind of was broken up a little bit in here, right? So you can see that buyers and sellers come back in and back and forth in these areas now. Well, okay, so how's the liquidity in there? What about the sellers? A lot of sellers start to come in here, right? How does this selling compare to this selling over here, or buying over here? Start to understand some of these things and the nuances in here. Just start with the strength of the move and just start to, uncover some of the things in here. I just wanted to mention that, Rob. That was just something I saw take a step even deeper into the impulse moves and start to really get into it. Measured moves as well. Like you'll be amazed about these measured moves in here. Like here we can see that small area in here. Well, if we just duplicate it, there's lots of reasons for measured moves as well, but it matches up perfectly with that liquidity up here. Right? So, is it creating a measured move? What is there liquidity underneath here that is supporting on the bid, etc. Are they pulling on the offer, or do they stay and do they transact? Some of these details. That was it. So yeah, that's everything, guys. This went a lot longer than we thought. I'm sorry for the technical issues, but we're getting there. And plus, you have now some other resources in here. We're going to have a resource room for you as well, so that you can find a lot of these resources very easily. All right. So more to come on that. Rob, I don't know if you had anything to mention on some of that feedback. I see you're in here. And I cannot hear you. Hold on a minute here.
I saw him light up.
Yeah.
His mic works.
Yeah, I saw it too.
I think you just need to increase your gain. Your volume is just really low.
Yeah. Or maybe it's even the connection. I don't know.
Could be. Still super quiet.
Yeah, it's hard to hear you, Rob.
There is sound though.
Yeah, something's working.
Dan thinks you might be connected to Bluetooth headphones as opposed to.
Maybe you're also connected to something else besides Discord. I don't know. You can try Control R as well. See if you come back in. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rob. It's just it's pretty horrible. We can't hear you. It's connecting, but it's just really horrible. All right, guys. Well, anyway, I hope you found this helpful. We're going to do more of these, and we'll get more concise with them and continue with the feedback, so that you can get better. I mean, like I really loved General Iro. Well, you can be more critical.
There just wasn't much criticism.
Yeah,
it was a good trade.
Yeah, it was good. it was really identifying some key things.
Just wait till he makes a bad one, then I'll get on him.
But yeah, that's what we want to accomplish in here. And you guys continue to make good content like that. We'll continue to give good feedback, and you'll get better at your trading, and you can also get Bookmap for free and work your way on up into being a coach and etc. So it's a path here. It's opportunity that we're providing you, and please take advantage of it. So
and if you have any questions, you can always ask in the Discord channels. You can ping us, or if your question's more private or you're just shy, there's some people that are, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can reach out in DMs. We don't mind. So definitely ask questions if you have them.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, any other last comments, Jack?
No, I think everything's great. We'll nail the little nuance stuff in Discord eventually.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
I appreciate it, team.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch up next time.
Have a nice day, guys.
Bye.